here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Chinese Ninja Warrior with your soul code. If you know what that is, you're either A, listen to Nerd Rage, or B, are as big a geek as I am. With that being said, this is all known to me from Baltimore Brand, and this is Sub-Zero from Storm Collectibles. I just looked at Noob Saibot, so it's obviously the same mold, but we have a few different accessories, and we'll fly through the articulation per usual, have a little story time, and be out. Let's get started. Comes with a wide array of hands. Two martial arts hands that you can kind of get away with as relaxed hands as well, but not as well as I've seen on some others. We have one holding hand for an accessory that we'll get to here in a bit. They're all detailed the same. We'll talk about that when we go through the figure. We have two kind of posing martial arts hands as well, or saluting hands if you want to make them patriotic. And then you have two of these hands. One, it was already on him in the opening footage, and this is like the I'm gonna get ya hand, and then another fist hand to match his other fist hand, which we saw in the opening footage. And as soon as I pick it up off the floor, we'll take another look. He comes with his fatality effect, and it's done fairly well. It's a black piece, and then it has some detailings here of like some guts, like a yellowish color down in here, and then it has a dry brushing of red and looks like some pink or white towards the top. And hopefully he can hold it. I haven't actually tested it yet, but these hands are pretty flexible. The fingers anyway. It's a softer plastic, which I don't think I've been mentioning, but I'm mentioning it now. So yeah, holds it just fine. I should also mention real quick that this is on a ball joint, so you can move the head around. He comes with an ice effect. It's a translucent piece of plastic. We have all sorts of shades of blue going to white, with the heavier blue in the middle going out to the white on the ends, and then this other piece, same sort of detailings, and then you have this hand, which you can jam up into those finger slots up in there to hold it, which works much better than reuse effect. And then there's a number of different things you can do with this. You can have him doing his ice blast effect. It's not the prettiest, but you can kind of pull it off. It works better than reuse. It is interchangeable on both hands. We showed it on the one and the other footage, and now it's on the other hand. It works better on this hand, but you can use it on both. And if you do it from this angle, it looks pretty good. Not perfect, but not hateful. You can kind of get away with pulling off the floor freeze effect. Once again, it's not quite right, and I couldn't get him to balance on one leg, but you know, you can get it in the spirit of, I suppose. And you can kind of get the floor slide. Once again, doesn't look great, but doesn't look hateful. And lastly, you get the cloth-styled mask. It operates the same as Noob Saibot's. You just take this one out and insert this one on. And if you don't, you make an ooh face. Ooh. And it's eating me up right now. Let's take it off. It's hard to do some of this stuff with the giant tripod in front of you. There you have it. Now let's talk about the figure. Pretty much the exact same as Noob Saibot, just some different detailings and stuff. It's to a minimal, but we'll fly through it. So the head is on a double ball peg. There's no neck. You do have this soft piece around the neck, so you can get a decent range of motion all the way down to there, all the way up to there. I think you can get a little bit more. And then the swivel, confused dog look, etc. And that all works fairly well. The eyes are painted really well. There's white with like a shading around them, and then the eyebrows are sculpted and painted, and the face is sculpted and painted very well. So we have this diaphragm joint, which feels like a single ball peg maybe, and then a double perhaps at the pelvis. I can't really tell without taking it apart, but that seems to be the case. It gets you all the way across this softer plastic, which is a great soft plastic, doesn't really get in the way. All the way across to the other side, you can get your teapot, you can get your ab crunch a bit, not a great range, but a decent one. And then this whole piece is the softer floating piece. The arms are on a ball peg going into the body with a kind of sheath around it to hide the joint, coming out to a disc hinge, which gets the arm all the way up to there, down to there, and around. You can get the butterfly joint, a bit of it this way and that way. The bicep swivel with this band sculpted and painted, and then a double jointed elbow that gets you a great range, and then the wrist, which is on a swivel at both ends of a ball peg that comes out to a ball hinge, so you can get it forward and back, and then you can turn and get it up and down. No problems. And then the hand, the fingers are a softer plastic, and you have some dry brushing on the armor that's on the hand. Dry brushing is the same on this floating piece that sits on the forearm. Now, there is a lot of shading in the skin tones, which is great. It looks fantastic. It's really well done. Like some speckled paint and some washes and stuff. It looks fantastic. Same for the other side. For the hips, we got T-jointed ball joints to get you way past the Van Damme, and the full Monty. No issues there. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee, get you 180 on that. And then the ankles, you have a tilt down, a tilt up, a toe hinge, and an ankle rocker. All works well. Detailing wise, the pants are all sculpted beautifully. And then for the shin pads, it's interesting because it's actually black plastic and then a heavy dry wash of blue and then a silver dry brush on top of it. Really gives a great worn, lived-in feeling to it. So that works tremendously well. You also have an ankle swivel. So much like the new Cybot, it is really well kind of put together and designed. Final thoughts wise, I think it's a really well done figure. I'm really excited about this line. I'm really excited about their potential, and I hope that they can see it through past the ninjas, which it looks like we're getting a few more. But like, God, I want a Raiden, I want a Kung Lao, I want a Sindel, I want all of them. So I really wish them the best. The only criticisms I have are the same ones that I had with new Cybot, which isn't much. The only additional criticism I would add is that the accessories don't really work great, and they didn't really work great on Ryu either. So looking at 2 in a row and both the accessories kind of failing, that is something that I would say to definitely work on if I were them. Otherwise, I don't have much complaints. Positives wise, there's plenty. The paint is beautiful. Any of the, one thing I do want to note, any of the tolerance issues that I had on Noob Cybot, I don't have on this guy. This guy moves smoothly, so to speak. I do like the accessory that he's holding right there. That's definitely how I would have him posed if I had the figure. But since it's on loan to me from old Be More Brandon, I had to give it back. But I do have the second release pre-ordered. The articulation works, the presence is there, the sculpt is there. I would like for the hood pieces here to sit a little tighter around his mask. That's another complaint I forgot to mention. But other than that, it's a well-designed, well-engineered, good-looking figure, and I highly recommend it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. I played Mortal Kombat by the roll of quarters in the arcade in its prime. I was always there, and I was really good at it. And I'm not very good at video games, generally speaking, but I was really good at Mortal Kombat. I used to play all the time. One time I was sitting out in front of a buddy of mine's house, and his neighbor came out and said that he was really good. And I said, I'll play you. And he was like, you don't want to play me, I'm gonna, you know, wipe the floor, mop the floor with you. And I was like, okay. So then I started talking a good one back. And I'm not very good at much in general, but I'm really good at talking shit. So I got him all riled up, and it was a group of us, we all walked up to the bowling alley, we played a game, and I smashed him. I crushed him. It was a massacre. But my girlfriend, who is now my wife, was there with me, and she looked over at me and said, I think that's the closest I'm going to feel to being the girl whose boyfriend wins the football game. And she was right.